Why is everyone so unbearably stupid? I was talking to my friend once and they said they saw someone so tall that they thought they were closer. This blew my mind as it's such a moronic statement that doesn't really make any sense. This person has depth perception. They haven't lost an eye in a tragic wanking accident. But that's just one in many examples of someone being an absolute cretin, and I'm sure you watching are just like me having to wade through the masses of morons and mouth breathers. But how did we get here? It all started many years ago when an ape got new thumbs and turned into a man, though he was still an idiot who couldn't even make fire. Then the years go by, it starts to walk upright, the hair falls out, and then it sits in a computer-generated room spouting lines from a piece of paper to a camera. How far we've come. Unless that's all wrong, we're actually created by some almighty being in the sky who watches everything we do, a bit like Santa Claus, but then when we die decides if we should be sent to a fiery hellscape or not, depending on how dickish we've been. But religious beliefs are on the decline, probably because it doesn't seem like a good idea to pray to the immortal being that made Jeffrey Epstein and the paedophile island. So I think it's safe to say most people agree apes is where we started. It's amazing we figured out something as complex as evolution, and it makes every other human discovery and creation that much more astounding, knowing we came from something so incredibly dumb. Imagine if you could tell that one slightly more evolved ape about the internet and how easy it is to stalk people. He'd probably bite your fingers and rip your cock off because he's an ape and they're fucking evil. But enough with all the historical stuff, let's talk human studies, or more specifically, the Dunning-Kruger effect. To the board! This sexy looking graph shows level of intelligence on the x-axis with perceived level of intelligence on the y. Basically it means all the smart people that created the stuff we use today are up here because they're intelligent and they know it, while all the dimwits of the world at this point here don't realise that they're the reason bleach bottles say they're not for human consumption. People with a lack of knowledge are so incompetent that they have no idea that they're incompetent, which is how you end up with films like Birdemic, The Room and anything from Neil Breen. Now with this in mind, let's have a look at something that has riled me up for some time now.
Not breaking the law! Burn your map! Burn your map!
I do not consent! I do not consent! I do not consent!
Coronavirus is one of the few events that has an effect on the entire planet, and with something so massive we get to see how so many different people tackle the problem, and one of the ways people are tackling it is by not tackling it at all and fucking up the problem even more. These people are the anti-vaxxers, anti-face mask wearers, and this is an elaborate hoax that the entire world is in on us, who all fall into the group of the scientists are wrong and I'm right. It's those fuckers, these degenerates who work their degenerate jobs that have nothing to do with viruses, well except for when they're coughing into each other's mouths to prove a point. They're challenging the boffins that have dedicated a shit ton of time to their very specific area of expertise. It was bad enough calling them buck-teeth nerds when they were kids. Now you have the audacity to tell them they're wrong? Imagine if this shit happens when those brainless husks go skydiving. Okay, when you jump out of the plane, I want you to pull your ripcord at 6,000 feet, otherwise you'll hit the ground, making a great mess for someone to clean up. Fuck you, you dum-dum! I read on Facebook that the air is thinner the higher up you get, making you go weightless, allowing you to float down to the ground gracefully. Fine, jump out the plane without a parachute. This is my last week till retirement. I don't care what happens to you, you utter waste of semen. And when you die, I'm going to tell my grandkids this story and we're all going to laugh at your idiocy. We don't tell Darwin he's wrong, mainly because he's dead, but why do we believe the things he said and not the other experts? Why don't we believe in a god called Clive who made the universe and then threw in things like dangerous animals and deadly diseases for his own sick amusement? Why is evolution accepted by most people as fact, but information about the virus from the same sort of people is considered overreactionary bullshit? Why do you even need to have an opinion in the matter? Why can't you just say, I don't know what the answer is, now leave me alone and let me get back to throwing rocks at cars? It's because people don't like looking dumb, but I do. I love being an idiot as it really takes the pressure off, plus it's really funny. That story about my friend who saw a tall person that he thought was closer, I did that and I found it hilarious. Another time I was driving and I saw someone walking down the street that I thought was me. But what makes someone dumb? Well, usually out of a sample, the dumb one is the one who knows the least. But the problem with that is the sample could be a group of slack-jawed nitwits. The entire human race could be a collection of fucking dunces according to aliens out in the cosmos who are looking down on us battle over toilet roll thinking we've hardly evolved from shit-flinging monkeys. I'm glad I know I'm an idiot because then I know my limitations. I got a D in GCSE psychology, and so when I was researching the Dunning-Kruger effect, I made sure I took my time using multiple sources to make it as correct as possible. I could have went the easier route pulling some facts out of my arse that I learnt years ago and barely understood then, which is lazy and therefore a bit selfish. But no, I know some people are going to watch this and use some of the facts here in conversations, and I don't want someone to look like an idiot because of misinformation from me. I could still be wrong, and I urge you to do your own research, because again, I'm an idiot, but let's be honest, unless you're passionate about this topic, you're not going to do any. And that's exactly who I wanted to aim this video at, because these people need to hear the hard truth, because they're really annoying. Most likely, if you clicked on this video because of the title, you believe everyone is stupid, but you might not be on this point here. See, I think there's a part missing from this graph which skews the data a bit, making it look like this, which I'm naming Perry's Dunning-Kruger effect to fit the theme of lazy egocentricity. This new line is all about level of selfishness, and only the truly self-centered cunts will fall on the red line. Most people will just hover around in the blue area, being varying levels of selfish assholes. Now, how did I come up with this hypothesis? What events transpired, giving me an even more cynical view of people?
Deaths in this country running at several thousand a day. The virus is spreading even faster, and so now is the time to take action. You must stay at home. There is no alternative. Pubs closed, entertainment venues must close, restaurants closed. Truly, truly sorry.
The lockdowns have been a great tester of selfishness, as from the start everyone was told by politicians to stay inside, otherwise people will die. Your level of selfishness can be measured by how long it took for you to say, oh, I'm bored of trying to entertain myself, I'm sure the virus isn't that bad, I'm going to go around my friends. With bonus points if you started the lockdowns moaning all the rule breakers. This is why evolution is accepted as fact. The smart people said it's fact, but crucially accepting it doesn't fuck up your day plans. But who can blame all these people for going against the rules? It must be very difficult staying inside where you can call your friends anytime you want, have a continuous stream of entertainment from the comfort of your home, get anything from burgers to butt plugs at the press of a button. We might as well just off ourselves. We finally come face to face with a problem that can be solved staying inside and masturbating, and yet we managed to fuck that up. How the hell are we going to stop global warming, as you actually need to be productive to even put a dent into the issue? But how did we get here? I believe selfishness has grown because of how convenient everything is now with the rise of technology. Life is so good that when we get a mild inconvenience, everyone flips the fuck out. When The Boys Season 2 came out, they released the first 3 episodes in one go, and then the rest came out weekly. It was then promptly review bombed by a bunch of impatient knobs giving it 1 star. It wasn't even that long ago shows started releasing an entire season in one day. We're constantly being drip-fed entertainment to the point we can't be left alone with our thoughts for a second. I suffer from this is when I'm at work I can't bear not having music played because my mind isn't used to the sheer boredom of a regular job. Though thankfully I haven't succumbed to the selfishness because I've been productive and actually doing shit, plus I like staying inside anyway. We're in the age of people consuming telly while also staring at their phones, getting angry at tweets about intricate politics, since the TV shows have those boring bits where there's no sex or violence and people just talk about stuff to develop their complex characters. Ugh, it's boring just talking about it. That's why I force myself to talk fast in these videos, because I know how dull it can be having a slow talker taking their sweet time to say anything of relevance. People are too lazy to concentrate, and because they can't concentrate, they don't do anything productive, so selfishly rely on others to produce things for them to consume, and there's only so much you consume from your own home. All of the events that transpired throughout this pandemic were inevitable, and unless we change our mindset, which we probably won't, we're going to get hit equally hard by the next one. But where do we go from here? We live in a society and societies need rules, otherwise people start raping and pillaging. Even though I've said everyone is stupid, I still think we have something we're good at, and usually that's because it's our job. You can have a total moron that is also a really good mechanic. When you get your car repaired, I very much doubt you lean in towards the guy who has his arse crack exposed and say, "Excuse me, but what the fuck do you think you're doing? Didn't you read that Reddit post that said putting an egg in the car radiator will fix the problem?" Of course not, so don't do the same with politicians and scientists. Get out of your fantasy land where authority is trying to pull the wool over your eyes and create a conspiracy that is going to get uncovered by you. I'm not saying blindly follow the rules, but when people are dying at an incredibly fast rate, at least fucking listen to them. You're not sheep for putting on a mask, just like you're not sheep for driving on the correct side of the road. And when you start questioning people smarter than you because you're bored, grow the fuck up, because you have bigger problems than fucking lockdowns. Oh, and pick up your dog shit because I'm sick of having to watch my step while on a public footpath.